with coverage you can count on. This is WNEMTV5 News at Noon.
Well, it is the eve of Thanksgiving, and the rush of holiday travel, albeit lighter this year, is well underway. Last-minute shoppers are flooding stores for those final ingredients needed for Thanksgiving feasts. Airports in mid-Michigan are seeing a surge in travelers. Bishop International Airport in Flint expects a busy day today. Safety measures, of course, are in place. Masks and social distancing are required. Bishop says it is currently 55 to 75% full right now. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Blake Keller. The TSA is expecting about 1 million travelers to pass through checkpoints today. But as Chris Van Cleve reports, millions of Americans appear to be skipping travel this year over COVID concerns.
Despite the COVID warnings, Americans are on the move.
I'm not going to stop living because of somebody being afraid of some disease.
Around 5 million people have already passed through airport checkpoints, and TSA is expecting today will be one of its busiest since March.
Sometimes you're in a crunch and you got to do what you got to do.
You're going to see those barriers. If you go to any airport, they're going to be very similar.
TSA Administrator David Pekoski showed us some of the latest COVID protections in place, including plexiglass, officers in PPE, and new scanners in an effort to reduce touch points.
Do you think people should be traveling?
I think passengers need to make a judgment. My job in TSA and my officer's job is to make sure that if you do choose to travel, we provide you as safe and as secure an experience as we possibly can.
Just last week, the CDC followed mayors and governors in urging people not to travel for Thanksgiving. Pia Duryea is driving to see her parents in Connecticut. Both are in their 80s and recovering from summer health scares.
I wanted to go see them because you see all these stories about people who wish they had seen their family members before they got sick.
But Philadelphia healthcare worker Samantha Halpern told her family to stay in St. Louis just 2 hours before their flight.
I'd rather not have them come for this Thanksgiving than risk not ever spending any future holidays with them from here on out.
The CDC is urging those who do travel to wear a mask when they're around people they don't live with, particularly indoors, and recommending, if possible, to separate the Thanksgiving eating from the Thanksgiving socializing. Go apart to eat when masks come off, socialize together with masks on. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Reagan National Airport, Virginia.
And travelers arriving in Los Angeles will be required to quarantine for 2 weeks or risk a $500 fine. Police in New York City will also be looking to enforce quarantine rules as well. And travelers will be contending with some wet weather this afternoon. There we go, with rain expected throughout mid-Michigan. We're taking a live look over Birch Run and Flint right there. Joining us now from the First Warn 5 Weather Center is meteorologist Chris Eastlick. One thing I really miss today, Chris, is the sun.
Yeah, it's been a while, it seems like now, and we had some winter weather yesterday, and it looks like for today we've got some fog to contend with, so the snow is done and things are getting better out on the roads, but unfortunately that fog has really settled in. So we take a live look at Mount Pleasant right now, and yeah, Blake, there's no sun in sight here. It looks like it's hard to even see the campus. Now keep in mind, this camera is pretty elevated. It's up on top of Moore Hall, but at ground level, it can't be much better than that. Visibility near 0 in Mount Pleasant. We've also got down to around a half mile in the Alma area, Owasso at 4, Saginaw at 0.8 of a mile, and Midland right there too. So certainly a situation to be careful with later today. Your First Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar shows the rain for the moment has ended, but we are seeing more rain that's off to the south, and that will likely move in as we go towards the afternoon and the evening. So while we are getting a break outside of any mist within that fog, it looks like the substantial showers will return. Your temperatures are in the upper 30s to low 40s, mid 40s around the Flint area. Your winds also showing about 5 to 6 miles per hour. And your hourly forecast shows as we go through the rest of the day, we're looking at 40s this afternoon. And then eventually, as we go into tonight, we'll likely see some 40s as well. We'll take a look at what's ahead for the rest of the week, including a brighter weekend. That's all coming up.
Chris, thank you. Republican John James has now conceded, congratulating U.S. Senator Gary Peters in a Facebook post Tuesday evening. Now in the post, James said the battle for the Senate seat is over, but the battle for the future of this great country will never be over. Senator Peters defeated James with 50% by a difference of more than 92,000 votes. President Donald Trump was expected to join his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, in Pennsylvania today, but that trip has been canceled. According to CNN, the president was going to attend an event where Republican lawmakers would discuss allegations of election fraud. The sudden cancellation reportedly comes after Giuliani was exposed to a second person who tested positive for COVID-19 in just the last week.
Things like heart attacks, strokes, kidney disease, they don't go away because of COVID-19.
Well, many Michigan hospitals are close to capacity this noon. COVID-19 patients are filling up beds, while people who don't have the virus still need medical treatment. The Bronson Medical Group says hospitalizations for COVID-19 are now 3 times what they were in the spring. And if the numbers remain high long enough, hospitals could go into surge capacity. That's adding beds beyond what they're licensed for. Health officials say the current trend is unsustainable. They insist the only way to fix it is to follow health guidelines to bend the curve.
If we get to a point where the healthcare system has to make choices on can they do this treatment or this elective surgery or can't they, I don't want to be the one that is in need of critical care for whatever reason. I have a heart attack, God forbid I have a stroke, and I can't get to the closest hospital because their critical care unit is full. Now I've got to take a longer ride. And that's where we're headed. And that's not a fear statement, that's a factual statement.
Well, hospitals are still encouraging people to seek care when they need it. One way doctors are doing that right now is